Tina3423 in his top 10 worst video game cliches showed us the 10 things we dislike in video games. I agree with this list thoroughly, and seeing how awesome it was, I decided to create this video as a sort of response. Now it's my turn to introduce you to 10 things that make gamers' life a living hell. So hey, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog 17, presenting you the top 10 other worst video game cliches.
This doesn't make me a loser, does it?
Those of you who played many first-person shooters probably seen this scene a lot. There are enemy soldiers out in the open, standing next to a barrel. So what do? You shoot the barrel, making it explode and killing the soldiers. Simple, efficient, and effective, right? Well, as much as this cliche is helpful, it's illogical. No matter how much you want it, you won't make the barrel explode by shooting your weapon at it. At very best, you'll pierce the barrel and make the fluid it contains sprawl out. And unless you ignite that fluid, you won't make an explosion. No, sir!
What do you know? Haven't you heard?
Don't finish that sentence. But yeah, there is one way. You must use a rocket launcher.
Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Fourth, you challenge me with trickery? I don't believe in magic. Onward! Please don't kill me. But I suppose you have to. Die, you worms. Together with this burning ship!
James, go and prevent the confusion in the city.
Now bear my Arctic blast.
We may be able to locate another energy emission from the radar room. When we find that meteor, we'll find Dr. Walley.
Yeah. I don't think I need to add anything. This cliche is self-explanatory.
Team Deathmatch! Eliminate the enemy team!
No revelations here. Whenever a successful comic book, movie, or TV series are made, video games meant to be its adaptations are released. My question to you is, are these games usually good? Well, unless you have bricks in your head, the answer is obviously no. You are correct! License-based games, especially those based on movies, suck! Granted, in recent years there were several exceptions, such as this one, and especially this one, but there are so many license-based games that bastardize the franchise, it's impossible to avoid this subject. At this point, I'd like to thank the creators of these and many other licensed titles for establishing a new rule in gaming, which states that 4 out of 5 license-based games are bad.
No. It's not true. That's impossible!
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
Yes, I know it's sad, but it's a fact. Cutscenes are important for storytelling or advancing the plot, but sometimes you probably wished you could skip it because you either saw it already or didn't find it interesting. Unfortunately, some games just want you to sit down and watch it from beginning to end. This can be more punishing than you might imagine. I'm sure many of you people had a game that didn't allow you to skip cutscenes and made you rage. For me, it was the second Rayman. That game had no lives. If you accidentally died, you went back a bit. After watching the same cutscene for the 10th time, I started wishing this game had a life counter instead. And don't get me started with Final Fantasy X! I'm still stuck on the Blitzball Championship match, and whenever I want to try again, I have to endure 10 minutes of unskippable cutscenes! Screw this, I'm going for a drink! There are so many monsters out there. Hey, a town! Maybe I can get some new equipment and information here. Equipment and items? Yes. Information? I don't think so. Have you ever wondered why in almost every adventure and RPG game the townsfolk are just walking from left to right? A very interesting life indeed. In case you're wondering, that was sarcasm. Every Final Fantasy game and most of Legend of Zelda games tend to have idiotic townsfolk with an IQ of a banana.
O kurwa.
They are completely ignorant of your quest to save the world, rescue the princess, or whatever you're doing. Mortal Kombat Deception's Conquest mode shows this as well. And of course, we can't forget about Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. The townsfolk are just raring to aid you. I tried. It didn't work. I had to go inside. Yeah, you do that, old lady. Huh? What Death Star? Oh, son of a bitch. I'm okay. I had Autolife casted on myself, just in case. Ah, Mario Party. Probably one of the best multiplayer game series ever created. But why wasn't it released on Wii's Virtual Console? Probably because Nintendo wanted us to spare our controllers the fate that befallen the N64 ones. Rapid input sequences. Or button mashing, or however else you want to call it. Sure, at first, pressing one or two buttons in rapid succession to do something may not seem that bad, but after days, weeks, months, years of repeating this process all the time, your controller will eventually stop responding. Not to mention it gets tiresome and repetitive after a brief period of time. Almost every Mario Party game seems to be having a minigame centered on button mashing. Heck, Mario Party 5 goes as far as to name one of its minigames Button Mashers. But wait, there's more where that came from. Do you remember Banjo-Tooie and its infamous Canary Mary race in Cloud Cuckoo Land? To beat her, you have to press A button for 90 seconds non-stop! These button mashing sequences also seem to be present in every hack and slash game, such as God of War or Diablo. Rumor has it that there is a special UN task force that is still searching for the sick mind behind this cliché.
Fuck! Stop hitting me!
This spot is actually a tie between the two most abused and most unfair types of AI found in games: Psychic and cheating. Psychic AI seemingly reads your every move. If you play fighting games, you know what I'm talking about. You try to uppercut your opponent in Mortal Kombat, BAM! Your opponent does it microseconds earlier. You try to unleash an awesome combo, BAM! Your opponent grabs you and everything's ruined. To me, this was ever present in Digimon Digital Card Battle for the PlayStation. I had to restart the game at least twice when I got to Garuramon in Igla City, as there was no way I could beat him due to his sick counters. As for cheating AI, well, let's take a look at this race in Mario Kart 64. Alright, I'm first and on the last lap. No one can take my victory away. Huh? Wait a minute, I just smashed you with a red shell, knocked you into a car, then used the golden mushroom to give myself a speed burst, and you still managed to catch up with me? Also, in Pokemon games, have you ever wondered why attacks that deal some sort of status anomaly don't work on your opponent as often as they do on you? How come in the city of Final Fantasy a CPU opponent has a weapon or armor that requires higher level to equip? I mean, jeez, you say this is supposed to give the players more challenge? Well, sorry, to me that's BULLSHIT! Yeah! Which one of us did not had at least one headache because of that cliché? New enemies that appear almost instantly after the old ones were eliminated. A plague for most gamers, alright. Many 2D platformers seem to be infected by the CRE virus. And for those of you who can't figure out this acronym I just made up, this stands for Constantly Respawning Enemies. Castlevania, Mega Man, Ninja Gaiden. Those are just a few examples of how enemies that litter the screen and just keep coming can ruin your fun from the game. Especially if a very annoying enemy gang attacks you with the help of other enemies. Yes, Medusa heads and falcons, I'm looking at you! Turn-based strategies such as Super Robot Wars tend to be infested with a different virus called ER. That's not exactly what I meant. Here, let me show you. Right, that's the last enemy on the map. Now I can go back to the base and Hey, why did the music stop? Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Another bunch of enemies? That's right, you thought you cleared the map, but enemy reinforcements appear. But did someone even bother to warn you about the upcoming reinforcements? Of course not! It's your task to predict whether they will appear or not. Gee, thanks a lot. Pop quiz. What are video games about? Violence? No! Well, technically yes, but mostly they are about entertainment. Alright, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but I think gameplay is supposed to be the most important factor in games that determines their quality. And when the gameplay is linear, a game that has it is bound to make you sooner or later, with emphasis on sooner, bored. I think the angry video game nerd himself said it best.
It takes too long to get enough of them to buy something, and it gets boring wandering around killing the same monsters over and over again. And to add on to the problem, when you die, you lose all your hearts and you have to start all over again. I mean, doing this doesn't add to any of the game's difficulty or challenge, it just makes us have to do more of the same monotonous stuff over again, and it's not fun, it's boring.
And we don't want to see games with boring and linear gameplay. Or do we?
What? Oh no!
I thought so. You hate them. I hate them. Everyone known to me hates them. You ask what I'm talking about? The answer will probably leave you convulsing with bad memory-induced rage. Well, here it is. The other worst video game cliché of all time is the Escort Mission! Come on, you knew this would be on this list. This is quite possibly the most disliked as well as one of the longest and most cherished methods of gamer abuse in all of gaming. You probably think, come on, escorting an NPC to a designated point sounds simple. It can't be that hard.
Wrong!
These levels are oftenly crippled because you get to escort the dumbest AI possible, which will run straight into the enemy gunfire instead of fighting cover, like every normal person would do. Over the countless escort missions, I chose two examples which are bound to make everyone mad. Case in point, Resident Evil 4. Throughout the whole game, your task is to protect Ashley. If you won't be paying attention to her for the whole time, you will quickly hear either one of her signature quotes.
Leon! 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 Help me, Leon! Leon!
And another example. Earthworm Jim has a level called For Pete's Sake. And what a fitting name it is! You must escort Peter Puppy to his home. Sounds easy? Here's the twist. The road is packed with carnivorous plants, bottomless pits, UFO attacks, and freaking meteor showers! But you know what's the worst part? Usually when an NPC dies or something goes wrong, you have to restart the mission. Edgeworm Jim takes it to a whole new level. If something happens to Peter, he will turn into a huge mutant dog that mauls you for damage and carries you back to the last invisible checkpoint you passed, forcing you to try again! I'm not amused! These kinds of levels are ever present, and despite our best efforts, it's almost impossible to enjoy them, especially when AI screws you over and over again. I am the Polish Valzian, and I think the Escort Mission is the other worst video game cliché of all time. And unlike the underwater levels, there are no fun escort missions! Go ahead! Find a good escort mission! I dare you! I double dare you, motherfucker!
Hey, that is my line!
Sorry, sir. I just couldn't resist.
Headshot.
Falcon Punch!
Fabulous.
Yes!